trying something a little different today, using YouTube Live. Pardon the mess here, tax season and business season, all that kind of stuff. What I want to talk today about is the Chromebox experience. This is the fourth video, the last one in the Chromebox saga. And as you may have seen from the other three episodes of this series, that initially I got a new Chromebox to replace my old Windows setup. I did not throw away my Windows PC. I just basically had it hooked up as a secondary machine, so you can access it remotely using Google's Chrome Remote Desktop, CRD for short. And that worked fairly well for the first few days, and then it started having some problems with me doing my development stuff and everything. And so it seemed like I thought that ChromeOS was just not ready for prime time. And so I used it like this for a few months and decided that, it's just not quite up to speed. It was nice to be able to reboot in 9 seconds flat, which is always a nice thing. So when it would hang up, I would just reboot. It was nice to be able to do some of the web-based things that it was doing pretty well until it would hang up, or the cursor would stop kind of jerking a little bit before it jumps, or something, text would appear, more characters than I'm actually typing. Things like that. It was really kind of annoying and irritating. And there was some other stuff with Google Drive that wasn't happening the way it's supposed to be happening. So I just decided that something was kind of off a little bit, and that perhaps ChromeOS is not quite ready for prime time for the kind of workload that I do. But the reality of it is that it turned out that I switched over to using my kids' computer for a little bit, which they have also a Chromebox, same one, and they didn't have these problems, even though the workload was basically the same. And that's what I realized, that maybe I have a faulty unit, and that's exactly what it turned out to be. So I contacted the people who sold me the original Chromebox, and they were gracious enough to let me exchange it for, even though they don't make this model anymore, they had the slightly used unit, and they also gave me a little discount, which was super nice of them. I'm going to post the company name because these people deserve kudos for that kind of customer service. I bought this Chromebox back in the end of November. So December, January, February, March. December, January, February, March. Which means we're at 4 months now. And they were able to get this thing done for me like that. So hopefully the new one will work. But what I wanted to show you here is that once provided it does work as well as my kids does, which it should if it's a good unit, then the bottom line is I take back my prior statements from last video saying that it doesn't look like ChromeOS is ready for prime time. Absolutely, it's definitely fairly ready for prime time, and you can do a lot of things even on a 4 GB machine. And essentially, like I said, I'm going to use this box here, and I'm going to load it with everything I'm doing and make sure it's working. But I think it's going to be a different scenario. So today I wanted to show you, flip over to the other side here. There's the box that they sent me, another Chromebox box right there from ASUS. Let me just go ahead and do a little opening unveiling. So like I said, they sent me a slightly used unit, which I don't mind because I understand that the original is no longer available, so I can understand why they did what they did. And just see it. Let's go ahead and open it up. And there it is. So we got a little unboxing again. Looks like it's all packaged and everything nicely. And so we'll do this, and we'll do. Oh, they sent me another power supply, which I didn't send them the old power supply. Cute. Okay, I guess we'll just go with the old stuff. So basically all I need is the Chromebox itself. I'll close this up, put it away. And so the box itself here, let me just get the thing unraveled and open. And this is not going to take long, because you can see, I just wanted to show you just how easy it is to get these things in place. 1 second, I'm going to put this down. And I'm going to open this up. Let's off which camera so you can actually see me struggling here. I wish I had something to open this with. Let me see here. I got this pen. I could use to. There we go. Do it the hard way, right? If you can't succeed using normal approach, you use brute force. That's what they taught us back in the old Soviet Union, and it worked really well for them apparently. We're gonna try to see if we can make it work for us here too. Okay, finally. I think I'm making some headway here. There we go. There we go. Okay, so again, as you can see, the unit itself is really tiny. You know, see in my other videos, this is how big it is. I mean, it's just a tiny little deal. And it's got, on the front, it's got the power button right here. This has got a little light, a little kind of side deal. Everything else is rounded on the corners here. But this one looks a little different right there. It's got the power right there. It's got two USB, 3.0 USB ports on the front. It's got, right there, it's got the slot for SD, I think yeah, it's a for SD card. So it's left for SD card and for Kensington security, if you want to tie it to your table so nobody steals it. And then on the back it also has two more USB slots. So you have a total of 4 USB slots. You have the RJ45 plug-in for wired Ethernet. You have power receptacle right there on the I guess left side. The right side here, so it's left side. And it has the headphones jack right there. You can plug in headphones, and it's got two display ports. It's got one HDMI and one display port, so you can hook up 2 monitors, which is what I have. So basically the situation here is flip cameras real quick, and I'll show you. I have monitor here and monitor here, 2 monitors, and then everything is sitting in the back. So I'm gonna show you my mess in the back here. Don't pay any attention to the mess. I just want to show you the cables. So you can see here I got basically the HDMI cord. I got display ports, so these are that, and I got some USB cords and the power cord. And so I'm just going to go ahead and quickly plug all this stuff in. Let me see here if we can do this properly, like this. So we're going to give the guy rotated so we can plug it in. So we plug in the power cord here, and then plug in the USB somewhere. Where you plug in the USB ports is irrelevant because it's USB. And then this is let me see what this is. This looks like HDMI, so this will go in here. And make sure you plug it in the right way. Display port, that's not HDMI. It's a display port, and it goes like this. Okay, so we got that plugged in, we got another USB port here, plug that in there, and then we got the HDMI port goes in here. Okay, and then we got the sound. If I can find the sound somewhere. Let me see where the sound is. 1 second. See if I can find the sound. That's the power. Where is the sound here? My new microphone is plugged in. Anyway, display and everything, that should be enough. Oh yeah, and I gotta plug in. We got a couple more things right here, which are from the other machine. So I got this little guy, which is the wireless mouse and keyboard, and then this guy is the SD card. So I'm gonna plug those 2 things in. So I'm gonna plug this on the front here. Kind of tough holding my phone and at the same time plugging things in. And then the SD card is on this side, so we're gonna go this way, plug this guy in. And essentially that's it. I think I plugged in everything except for the audio, but we can do audio later. So I just wanted to show you that's, plug everything in, boom, boom. And then we go ahead and we turn it on. And we turn it on by pushing the button on the side here. And when you push it, the little white light comes on. And then you know it's on. And then we see here what's going on here. See the monitors come up, and there it is. You can see how quickly it came up with that. And so what I'm going to do here is just show you that we're going to have dual display. It says welcome. And I'm going to go ahead and say English is fine. So let's go. We're going to hook up to Wi-Fi. I'm going to type in the Wi-Fi. 1 second. Wi-Fi is, let's see. So I put in the Wi-Fi code, and so a couple of things to mention is, number one, notice that I plugged in that wireless mouse and keyboard, that little connector thing from the old computer, and everything is plug and play. You can see I didn't have to load any drivers, do anything like that. And it comes up, it says, you know, the agreement, we accept. And then moves on to this point, sign into your Chromebox. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. 1 second. Let me set this up here and just type in my so it's asking for my password using my phone because I have a two-step authentication. So I did that, so it knows that it's me, and then it goes ahead and says please wait. And basically, essentially, that's it. So now I'm at the desktop. It's going to go ahead and load all the apps. You can see where there's Chrome, there's Gmail, and so it's going to load all my standard apps that I have on Chrome for signing in, which you can see takes a little while. It's not instantaneous, but you can see it's pretty quick. It loads everything on that taskbar. I got both monitors going. You can see I got 2 monitors, and it's loading. There's my little calculator thing, and that's it. So if we go into Chrome, bring it up, there's Chrome. I'm going to move it to this window here, except right now the windows are backwards. That's cute. So it opened up on the other window, and then that's okay. We'll fix it later in the settings. And so there it is. There's Chrome. You know, if I want to go ahead and go to my yeah, you can adjust, of course, the settings for the mouse and keyboard and all that in terms of how sensitive it should be. But if I go to my inbox, for example, you know, it's loading inbox, and it's initially it's still loading, so it takes a little bit longer than normal. But once you get going, basically, it's pretty quick. And so there's my email, Amazon Assistant. I don't know why that came up. I guess it must have been what I had last time, so that's fine. And then if I go to my Gmail, but bottom line is, you can see it's working, it's online, it's doing everything, it's loading my stuff, all my data, my accounts. If I go to Drive, for example, Google Drive, then here are all my documents, everything. So you saw, I just right now, within minutes, literally hooked up a brand new computer, because this just came in the mail, without having any setup, nothing else that I had to do. I simply plugged in a few cords and turned it on, and you can see you've got 2 monitor capability right there. You've got mouse and keyboard working automatically. I got all my information right there, my emails, you know, everything basically working just fine, like nothing happened. And so if you think about, if you have your Windows computers, and if your Windows computer breaks, and then you have all these different things that you need to do with getting a new computer, and then all these things you need to install and reinstall, and the apps and everything else, it's an unbelievable drain of time and effort. And you look at this situation here, just literally, you know, seconds to a few minutes. You know, it takes seconds to boot up, load everything back the way you had it. You just log into your account and you're up and running. I mean, as simple as that. And okay, results fine. It's loading everything right now. So you give it a few minutes to basically load everything, get going, and you're up and running. So I definitely recommend, you know, so far obviously it looks like it's fine. definitely recommend looking at Chromeboxes as alternative to your Windows environment. You can hook up to your Windows machine. You don't have to throw it away. You can do the same thing I did. So I'll show you real quick that. See down below here, it's got this icon here, which is CRD, Chrome Remote Desktop. So if I click on it, it's going to pull up a screen, and it's going to say you have these computers. Looks like I'm going to have to reset that part up. Yeah, it doesn't see my Windows computer yet. So I'll have to reset up remote connection for Windows. So I'll take care of that, and then it'll allow me to sign on just like I did before. But basically, essentially, then I click on that, it opens a window, and there's my Windows PC. I can log into it as a separate PC. It's on the same network at home, and so, or in the office, wherever you have the machines. So you can still use it if you have to. But for the most part, you can pretty much stick to the Chromeboxes. And you know, when we're talking about time it takes to reboot, for example, they'll just show you real quick here. They don't have reboot capability on Chromeboxes. I don't know why they took it away. They used to have it. But what they do have, though, is ability to turn it off. Well, that's going to be the need to turn it off. I'll just restart it right here. It says restart to update. So the version of the operating system that came with it is an older version, so it tells me I can restart to update. I'm going to go ahead and click on it so you can see how long it takes to reboot the machine. And we're up. Okay? And we're up. So this is how long it takes to come up with the login. And so then if I log in here, let me just quickly log in. Put in the password here. And that's it. Boom. It says it requires new permissions, so I'll give it new permissions, no problem there. And everything is loading up again, and everything is back to normal. So you can see the rebooting literally takes, like I said, about 9 seconds. That's all it takes to reboot. And when you turn it off, even if it does bomb for whatever reason, which hopefully is not going to be happening, like on my kid's computer, it definitely hasn't been happening at all as I've been working on stuff. Well, this one was away. It's still, you know, to turn it off, turn it back on, I mean, it's just incredibly fast, so no problem there. So you really have a major time savings when you're using something like this. You have a tremendous, if you think about all the time when you had to sit and wait for the Windows to boot, and you multiply it by how many times it happened, you can see just how much time you're wasting. You're not really thinking about it, but if you really think about it, you're wasting a tremendous amount of time just sitting and doing nothing but waiting for it to boot up. And when you do a shutdown, this thing shuts down in 2 seconds. That's how long it takes to shut down. And so if you take that kind of improvement in efficiency and overall operation being pretty quick, and considering the price, you know, you can get one of these new models of this particular Chromebox for $200. Some of them are even cheaper, more like $160, $170. I mean, you just can't beat that kind of capability, functionality with anything, anything else out there. Even if you get a real cheap Windows box, which you can get some that are about, you know, 250, somewhere in there, that kind of price range is going to be such a low-end unit that performance-wise is going to be nothing compared to this. So Chromeboxes are pretty sweet. I certainly recommend them. I happen to have, you know, got a bad one, unfortunately, just like, you know, we can get anything that's bad. And these gentlemen that sold me the original box did a very nice job replacing it, so I can't fault them. They gave me about, I don't know, 15% discount on top of that, and send me a refurbished unit. So hopefully this will work fine. And I'm, you know, I'll come up with another report or update once I use this for a couple of weeks to make sure it's really flying just fine. But considering the load I put in on these machines, it's definitely worth your consideration. It's, in other words, if you're currently running a Windows shop and you've got all these, you know, Windows offices and all that stuff, Microsoft Office, I should say, seriously consider switching to something like this, because if you switch to Google Apps, you're talking about a cost of $50 a year per person. That's all it costs, is $50 a year. And you get a bunch of apps, bunch of capabilities there. Plus you get these inexpensive machines. So if you have a company of 10, 15, 20 people, and everybody needs to run a computer, you can significantly save money not only on hardware, but also on software, because there's no servers, there's no, you know, the Microsoft Office, you can get Office 365. It doesn't work well without having Microsoft Office. So you really need to have a copy of Microsoft Office. Means you're spending $400 or so, okay, for each person. Here, you're not spending anything like that. You're spending $50 a year. Updates, upgrades, everything is automatic. Everything is basically free, part of the deal. You're not paying for upgrades. You're just paying $50 a year per person. And when you really look at the maintenance costs and everything that you diminish by having this kind of environment, over time, you can see substantial savings in going with this kind of platform. So I would definitely recommend it. One last thing I'm going to say, I have a few discount codes for Google Apps where you can get this. It's Gsuite, actually it's called. You can get that for I think I have like 15% discount, or 20%, actually 20% discount. So if you're interested in signing up for Gsuite, if you're interested in finding out how you can easily move legacy data or Microsoft Office data over to Google Apps, move everything to the cloud, go with these cloud-based computers, have ability to fix things as quickly as I just showed you. Here we are, I only spent 20 minutes doing all this talking and showing, but literally within like a few minutes, I had a brand new computer completely started, loaded my data, have everything available, and I could sit down and start working on it. So if you're running a small company and you're not using this kind of technology, you're really wasting money, and you're also wasting a lot of time, which winds up costing money on top of that as well. So you can save on hardware, you can save on software, and you can save on time, and that's an unbeatable combination. With that, thank you very much. Looks like Google YouTube Live seems to work pretty well. With that, until next time, take care.